to take down USYD. Is this going to be the upset for the day? I'm not sure.
Okay, I'm not going to say it's not going to happen, but I'm going to say I'm going to need to see one hell of a good draft coming out of UQ with like 3 winning lanes and a super proactive jungler, or like a super clear, this is how we win our game and how we're going to get there, like a protect the Cogmore composition. So it's all in the draft, and so far, taking a glance at the band, Senna coming away, unsurprising. Olaf being hit as well. The Syndra, I do love being taken away as well.
Yeah, Syndra is a very good champion to pick in that mid lane, a really good stat checker, and by the time you get to mid to late game, a burst assassin in reality. Really interesting USYD banning away the Aphelios as well. You know, UQ picked the Aphelios last week with some success. You know, overall they lost the game, but the Aphelios was actually doing some decent damage. Something I will let the stream make them aware of is that Scott is not actually Scott today, it is the Zakinator. So when you see Scott, it's actually the Zakinator playing. So
I was going to call him not Scott.
No, just not Scott, yeah, exactly.
He's not Scott for today.
UQ not Scott. So, like in the Bard ban, actually, putting some respect on the Forward. You know, Forward played the Janna incredibly well last week, so I'm surprised we're not seeing the Janna ban. But I guess that'll depend on what the ADC gets picked out. So
yeah,
and there's the first pick MF.
Yeah, I was about to say Miss Fortune, Ornn, all are still available, super high priority. So I would please don't tease me with Fiddlesticks.
There we go. That's more like it. You know, I know Fiddlesticks is getting a rework soon, but you can't disrespect us with the with the pre-rework Fiddlesticks anywhere. You know, you could pick him support, but easily punished.
Yeah. But I do love the Ezreal pick here, purely on the basis of, because again, what we talked about,
pre-game
super priority picks, Miss Fortune, and you said to me before we came live, what was your answer to the existence of Miss Fortune?
I said that you should take the Ezreal, and I would not be surprised if you picks up the Yuumi. I think that the Yuumi Ezreal is an incredibly good counter pick for the MF. You know, if the MF pops the bullet time and you have your E available, you just blink out, and then you can put some big damage down in the time that it's going to take MF to cancel that ulti if she doesn't get the peel. So, especially with the Zac on your side, really locking down those carries, you know, putting some acting as a disruptor. So, again, we see the Ornn and the Echo as well for UQ.
Yeah, the Ornn, unsurprising. For drafting purposes, I'm going to be a little bit critical on University of Sydney, purely because we know they've got a good coach. Why wouldn't you take the Ornn yourself? Like, I really hope we're not... we can see another Nocturne top, actually.
There we go. I was right.
Yeah, there you go. You called it so well.
I called it 2 games ago, man.
Okay. You called it literally 2 games, like a couple hours ago you called that. I was going to say, if Ornn's available, why wouldn't you grab it?
Yep.
Then recall last week, Sydney didn't take Ornn.
No.
They allowed Ornn to be picked, and I'm pretty sure they locked in a Nocturne as their answer. So
yeah, their counter to the top lane was the Nocturne, who, you know, if we remember back, got a quadra kill and was incredibly fed. So I think that they have an option there that they're really comfortable with, and it'll be interesting to see if they go for that. But you do raise a question of, you know, Ornn is an incredibly strong top laner in the meta. So when they had the option, why wouldn't they pick the Ornn over the Zac? Because Zac is a lot less contested than the Ornn. So pick the Ornn, and then later on, you get the option to pick the Zac later on, because potentially you could counter pick it, or you might change your pick depending on what the enemy team picks. So a bit of an odd pick, but I guess they're, you know, maybe that's a central part of their team comp, and what they're trying to go for really relies on the Zac. So it's hard to tell. You know, Ubisoft, you know, he knows what he's doing. So we'll trust in his opinion to first pick the Zac.
Yeah, I mean, he is very good on Zac. I've seen him play some Zac games, and they are beautiful. So we also pair that with Ornn is strong, but we've already seen in game number 1, Ornn is far from invincible.
Yeah, so, very far from it. I really like the bans from USYD here, banning out the Thresh and the Nautilus. You know, especially if you're going to have a Yuumi lane, you've only really got one target. So someone like a Nautilus with a single target, big like lockdown ability is going to be very scary for them. Locking that down, Thresh as well is able to completely punish a Yuumi and a well, anyone, if the Thresh is good, you can land the hooks on the blink. You can flay now that Yuumi has that 0.25 seconds. You can hook it, or flay out of the thing. Blitzcrank is open, so Blitzcrank is available on the side of UQ. So the Blitzcrank MF could be a very real option, and we see potentially another Cassiopeia coming into this game for Zoot.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Echo could be jungle, could be mid. Cassio's a fantastic pick, but talking about your supports, you see the double ban, Leona is still an option.
Yep.
As an engaged support, and I do want to shout out for the fact that UQ, they've done their research. That's a Nocturne ban.
Yeah, no.
So they're saying, bring something new.
I don't even know if that's research or if that's just damage mitigation at this point. Like they've done the workplace health and safety forms, and they've realized that leaving that Nocturne up is detrimental to their health. And yeah, we might be seeing that Leona pick that you were talking about. It's going to be interesting to see how they can peel that. Yep, and they take it. So that's going to be a really brutal combo if they can land that onto the Ezreal, because in reality that Yuumi is just not going to be able to do much there. I would have liked to see the Blitzcrank, but what can you do? And it looks like the Zoe.
Ooh. Okay, that's fun. I like the Zoe here. No way. Sorry, don't tease me with a Camille, bro. Please don't tease me with this. I've seen his Camille in the past. I've casted it before. It was nightmare fuel.
It is absolute nightmare. Oh, the mouse.
Oh, it's horrifying to watch out. Oh, please tell me this is Cassio top.
It could
Lock this in and make it Cassio top,
It could
please.
be a Cassio into the... Oh, no.
Yes! This is what we want to see. Because...
I'm physically in pain, man. This hurts me, dude. You've got
hurts.
Yeah, it's like I think that they originally were intending on the Cassio mid. They got counterpicked Zoe and then went, you know what? Counterpick Zoe. Pick the Malzahar. Make Zoe have the worst time of her life. And coming out of this draft, I feel USYD is very far ahead already.
Yeah, I love USYD's draft. Again, I love this switch up because in top lane, what is Ornn meant to do against a Cassiopeia? She can kite him around. He's never going to be able to use his head charge engage because she'll simply dodge around it as well as Miasma. Like, what are you meant to do here other than get bullied by a snake?
There's nothing you can do. It's going to be very difficult to land the anything onto the Cassiopeia to punish. It's possible that if the Cassio gets QEW autoed and the Brittles procs might be able to do something, but I don't see it being enough to completely remove the Cassio from the lane. Meanwhile, Cassio can just poke him down ridiculously hard, and especially with the gank potential from Echo. The gank potential from... I've just had a mental blank.
The Zac.
The Zac, there we go. That's the one I'm thinking of. It's just over. So if that team fight happens or that gank happens, it is over for them.
Yeah, but the concern I have for Sydney's setup is purely on the basis of if you get into a 5v5 team fight, which is very likely.
Yep.
Ubisoft is good, don't get me wrong, and Zac can act as a very good tank, but he's one man.
Yeah.
If you destroy the Zac or ignore the Zac, Cassio's not tanky. She's got a lot of health, but you can straight through that relatively easily, assuming you don't get hit by Petrifying Gaze. Malzahar, no, he's going to get deleted.
Yeah.
And Ezreal Yuumi, that's not a frontline brother. Like, if you get to the backline, City's in trouble.
Yeah, that's true. I think that's definitely something to acknowledge, but as my week one host Formal is saying in the chat, Yuumi makes everyone a tank, and that is entirely true. So, get that Yuumi onto anyone, and they are going to have a hard time dying. But I don't know. I just don't think UQ's comp is enough to take down USYD. I do acknowledge the fact that, they've opted for the Cassio in the top lane, so they don't have that two-tank that style. But it's just... I can't see it happening, man, if I'm going to be honest. I think that USYD has got this in the bag, and the experience factor is going to come into this, and they're going to be able to, they're going to be able to get ahead.
And to what Twitch chat is saying, I'm not saying that it can't work. Don't get me wrong. The composition, the tankless comp or the one-tank comp works brilliantly, but you need to play it properly, because if you get into a team fight and your tank gets deleted, your fight's over at that point, unless you've taken out the enemy tank and at least one other member to boot. So
yeah, unless you're able to, if you're able to take them down, then that's really rough. But you've got to remember as well, the whole point of that comp is by the time they take that Zac down, they've already killed everyone on that team. So that's their goal right now, is like, yeah, you can kill Zac and then we're a squishy team. But if we delete the rest of your team, who's going to do anything? So, I don't know. I think USYD's winning this comp so far, and it'll just be a matter of how they can scale and whose win cons, come into play first. So I think that's going to be interesting.
It's going to be very fun to watch it. Now, the two lanes of interest for me, the first, of course, is that top lane Cassio into the Ornn. Because Ornn's going to get bullied, but we've got to remember that Ornn is also, he gives out the upgrade. So he's going to be very strong there. So how far behind does Ornn fall? And also Leona. Can she successfully kill Thomas and Forward in this bottom lane? Time to find out.
Yeah, I definitely think that the Leo is going to have a very important role to play on the side of UQ, especially in getting that bot lane ahead. If they can shut down the Ezreal and the Yuumi early on and really punish them for that team comp, it will get to the point where it doesn't matter how safe they are, they will be punishable. So I think if Farmer can get ahead and Revenge can just keep Farmer safe, and we have a dance off in the mid lane. Everyone having a bit of fun. It's a fun tournament, so I think it's everyone having a little bit of fun with this one.
And it makes a lot of sense here as neither team really looking to engage. As the one interesting thing, as I quickly glance down the summoners, is the fact that we do have a double heal bot lane coming out of USYD here with Ezreal. I'm a bit surprised Ezreal's taken that, because normally if you have a Yuumi, you grab teleport as the Ezreal, because you're like, back up, grab a tier real quick, come back. But no, he's like, I need the combat power, bro.
Yeah, well, it is something to take note of that they've changed how Yuumi interacts with teleport, so Yuumi does not go with you on the teleport. So that is partially why you've seen there's been a little bit of a drop-off in teleport picks with Yuumi, just because Yuumi cannot capitalize on that TP. So I am surprised, though, that there isn't at least an Ignite. That is an Ignite Exhaust pick from the Yuumi, and they've opted for the double heal. But I don't know, maybe they're just trying to respect it. I'm also surprised that potentially he didn't pick the Cleanse. Just go the Cleanse on the Ezreal, take the the Exhaust and the heal onto the Yuumi. So I don't know.
Yeah,
it's an interesting pick. Bit of a scuffed pick, if I'm going to be honest.
Scuffed pick. Tell you something that I find very interesting is the pathing of this Zac.
Yeah.
He has gone Wolves, Raptors, into Krugs. This man doesn't care for major buffs. I kind of love it.
Apparently this man doesn't care for HP either, because he has got none of it left at the moment. But, Zac, he's healthy enough. He'll be able to, heal up. But it's definitely an odd pick, like an odd path. I wonder what he's doing.
I think that is...
Zachinate has gone for a little more conventional with the, the red-blue Raptors, like Wolves run. But, well, not in that order, obviously. But, it's a bit more of a conventional pick and pathing. Currently, there's not any major CS difference anywhere. A little bit in the bot lane, a little bit in the top lane, but that's bound to happen, especially into the team comp. Into the matchup with the Ornn top lane. So,
yeah, and we do actually see Ubisoft is pushing through that top side. It says, oh, you've left a Grunt behind. I'm happy to claim that as my own. As we do actually see Farmer and Revenge. It looks like they're taking the Scuttle themselves. So, ironically, that will actually hurt Not Scott on the Echo quite a bit, because you really like to have that experience from the Scuttlebug, but not going to work out there as... Forward, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah, Yuumi gaining a little bit of goal, thinking that maybe I think Forward sort of forgot who he was playing and thought he was playing Leo for a second, and was like, yeah, I can face tank this. Well, no, you can't. So, smart to get back onto the Ezreal, heal up a little bit. So, we have a potential gank in the top lane, which is something to keep an eye on, as we have the Zac, and we have a lane gank bot lane as well. So I think we're getting a war on two fronts here.
Yeah, war on two fronts, but on the first front, Clint is going to flash, he's going to headbutt his way out of safety, and will be able to get alive just burning that Summoner spell. So, really good there. Now the question is, on the bottom half of the map, what can not Scott do? He has access to that parallel convergence, so if they push up too far, there could be an easy engage.
Yeah, but I think that they sort of know this, and they might actually get the catch out.
Oh no, they do get forward! That's not...
That's really smart and really good reactions by Forward. You know, opting to take that W onto the Ezreal. Watch the timing.
Oh, channel.
As it was going on, not Scott lands the parallel convergence, so that's rough. That's rough for them. Both ganks, to take note, both ganks not ending in success. So currently the junglers are, 0 for 1, and we have an engage.
Oh yeah, talking about engage there. Revenge going forwards a little bit, but he's not going to get a lot of damage down on the forward. A couple more hits might do it, but heal coming out. Second heal's not going to do much on that. It's first blood coming in for Framer there. And once again, Forward is not on top of the Ezreal. And just sort of walking forwards, like, I don't understand why you would do that.
Yeah, I understand that, Yumi's passive means that she has to hop off and get that mana back, but there was no reason there for Forward to be anywhere but on top of the Ezreal. So that was really unfortunate. And what we mentioned, the win cons for UQ, which is Farmer getting ahead and scaling really hard. And currently we're in a good spot, nearly a 10 CS advantage in the bot lane and a kill. So right now they are in a very happy spot.
Yeah, and one of the things we talked about when we were looking at the University of Sydney was the fact that they had such a strong top and jungle duo. But despite that one gank, we haven't actually seen it. We do get to see a bit more impact here with the Infernal Dragon being picked up here for the side of the University of Sydney, which is a good start to the game. As Thrones is just... Whoa, I think that's Petrifying Gaze coming out because there's no Call of the Forge God, so if he wants to keep chasing, he can, but he does choose to back away instead.
Yeah, really smart backing away there. The Infernal Drake being picked up by USYD is really nice for them. Getting that extra damage onto mainly the Ezreal and the Cassiopeia is going to be really big. It's not major, but any bit of bonus damage that you can get is going to potentially make up for a little bit of, misplay early. Because currently, Ezreal is behind, you've got a Sheen compared to a BF sword. So any little bit of extra damage that, USYD can get is really helpful for them right now.
Yeah, and I really want to see what more can they add on to this. Zach, the more and more points, of course, you put into the Elastic Slingshot, the further it is. And we've seen one, I'd say it wasn't successful, but it did force the flash out of Clint. The issue is that when you burn the flash in a gank, I feel like you almost need to revisit that lane, otherwise it feels almost like a waste of time to me. So I really want Ubisoft to come top lane, gank for his Cassiopeia once again, and really try to celebrate this champion, because we saw last game what happens when a Cassio gets ahead. It's a horrifying prospect.
Oh yeah,
I really want to see it again.
Yeah, no. If you get a Cassiopeia fed, it is a scary place to be. And Revenge might be trying to go here for the engage. It's hard to tell, but I think he's trying to wait for Thomas to step up just that little bit, and then counter jungling the blue buff away. Yeah,
this is cool. They are actually going to give it over. Oh, they're giving it to Drones. That is really clever.
Yeah.
Now, this is already a rough lane. What the hell is Zorn meant to do against a blue buff?
A blue buff Cassio. The only thing they need now is a red buff, and it's over.
And
that Cassio was incredibly strong, and it means that she could just spam those E's out, not worrying about the mana, and just gain as much health back as she needs. Pushing that lane in incredibly hard and punishing any attempt Clint has, trying to step up. So that's going to be really rough for Clint in that top lane. Already, incredibly far behind in CS, and they're about to get the Herald. Although they're a kill down, USYD not in a terrible position.
Yeah, I mean, they were that kill down, which was in the bottom lane, but if you look at the CS of the bottom lane, sure, there is going to be some goal differential here, and we might actually see a little bit more as the setup for a gang. Solar Flare does not connect. That was a beautiful arcane shift there as the follow-up through is locked down as well. For the full time, it is going to do quite a bit of damage. Forward, who hopped top once again for some reason, will fall, and his AD carry will fall to boot. But can Zoot turn this around? It's double kill coming in for Farmer, and they are looking potentially for a third. Instead, Zoot grabs revenge with the burning Malefic Visions, and they'll back away.
Yeah, a little bit of a consolation prize there for Zoot getting that kill for the overcommit from revenge, but that bullet time was ridiculous. Just absolutely cleaning them up. I don't know what Zoe was thinking there. I guess Zoe was trying to burst the the spell shield, but what does that achieve for you? You're not going to be able to dive it. So I don't know why they went for that. So the Malefic Space, getting the kill for him. So he is, he will take that every day of the week. But yeah, now you've got a 1-0 Malzahar, which Malzahar can get very scary. So
yeah, he can, but we've got to know the thing with Malzahar is I still think the expression is the tax. If you pay the QSS tax, it's not a problem solved because you still take quite a bit of damage, but it does help resolve a lot of the issues here. As we're seeing an attempted engage from Revenge in the bottom lane. Gets a bit punishment, but honestly, Leona can take that damage just fine.
Yeah, Leo is in a position where they do not care about the damage. They are so tanky that they can afford to take that the poke from their team and just walk it out. As long as they're going for the potential engage, they don't care what damage they take. If they get the one engage working, that's all that matters. So we have the Cinderhulk being picked up by... Oh, actually, we have a gank. Ooh.
Hello, the Elastic Slingshot not connecting there, unfortunately. I do like the attempt, though, purely because now the bottom lane has gone, okay, we've got to back away a bit, and Ripjar is available. If they want to break open the bottom side of the map, they easily could, even if Echo is hanging around nearby.
Even if Echo's hanging around, I think they're just going to prep for Dragon, if I'm going to be honest. They might try to get Udisoft here, actually.
Yeah, get a bit of damage onto him. It's now 3 versus 3. They don't know for certain that Scott is here. Now they do. And Udisoft is not going to get stunned. He will be forced to flash over the wall and does get out alive, popping that Let's Bounce to ensure the Aftershock keeps him plenty tanky. But this is slightly alarming now because what we thought could be maybe a Sydney Dragon, the University of Queensland has been able to push them away.
Yeah, they really brought that back. Oh no, Clint.
Wait, Zoot got a kill onto Armatile as well.
Yeah, so while we weren't looking, Zoot managed to get a solo kill, and Zoranis almost took out Clint there, so he's going to get free tower push with the Herald pushing mid as well. So, like we suggested, USYD's not in the best position kill-wise, but overall on the map, they are in a perfectly acceptable position. They are fine with what is happening.
Yeah, they're getting a lead in top lane. Their mid lane is about to break open the turret, which is massive for their team. They can start allowing this Malzahar to roam in what will effectively become the mid game. It's going to put them in such a great position, because what do you do against a roaming Malzahar when you don't have enough money to buy a quick Silver Sash to counter him? I feel like your only option there is to die, and it's not a fantastic option if I'm honest with you.
When you have two options and one of them is not available and the other is death, it's not exactly the greatest position to be in. So you sort of are forced to pay the tax with whatever blood money you can find. So, and we mentioned this in the early game, so pre-game, this isn't a surprising situation for USYD to be in. This is not anything out of the ordinary. We pre-game acknowledged the fact that Zoot, Udisoft, and Zoranis are the strong members of USYD right now, and they are the members to keep an eye on. Shen and Forward, although they played well, the Forward played well on the Janna. It lost. Oh no, this
is cruel. Because Scott has no way to get out. Oh my god, they didn't even need the Malzahar.
They didn't even need the stare down. They just went, no, you. Hit him with the Uno reverse card and just said, you cannot ulti.
Oh,
so
that's cruel.
that is brutal for them. And now you have a 3-0 Malzahar.
Because not Scott is now going to spend the rest of his time in the jungle because there's more bushes, because it's an Ocean Soul, being like, oh god, is Malzahar just waiting for me again?
Yeah, Malzahar, that's the threat. Oh
my god, Brahma's in so much trouble. Rodius is simply going to run him down. One more Twin Fangs will do it, and he manages to sidestep the Solar Flare here. Revenge has got no real hope. Yeah, force the Flash to get out in one piece.
That is brutal, and that's the threat we mentioned earlier of a fed Cassiopeia. You know, didn't even need the Petrifying Gaze onto the Misfortune to kill her. Just the sheer threat of walking at her with E was enough to take her down. So that's a really scary, snake. So, you know, and the problem that UQ is going to face there is that was their carry. Their win con right now is Farmer getting ahead. So the 3-0 Misfortune is now 3-1, and we can now see that, you know, in a team fight, they can easily take down the win con, and with her down, UQ has nothing left. Whereas USYD has their top lane, their jungle, their mid. You know, yeah, the bot lane isn't doing incredibly, but they have 3 members of their team that can do well.
Yeah, but they are at least pushing forwards here. They are contesting for the Riptide. Ubisoft is going to be in a bit of trouble. CC down, Petrifying Gaze not able to do much as the Zac is split up. Teleport could be used to try and save him as Ronius is trying to buy time, but they are simply going to lose their jungler as the Rift Herald does fall over to the side of the University of Queensland. Zoot should be able to get out in one piece, but the fact that University of Sydney was so confident when they were outnumbered is a little alarming.
Yeah, you know, they ended up losing out on the Herald there, but, like, it's not the end of the world. But, you know, with simply, like, a 2v4, they knew that they were going for kills in a 2v4. So, and in that meantime, you know, yeah, Farmer got a kill onto Ubisoft, but, yeah, I still think USYD's in an okay position. If they can get that top to mid doing well, I think that's going to be really beneficial for them. But Farmer is just getting further and further ahead, and, you know, an Ornn doesn't need to be incredibly strong to be useful. You know, he's 1-1, he's down, you know, 70 CS, but he's providing what is needed. So, I don't know.
Yeah, he's providing what is required of him. I mean, budget tanks, I'm actually a huge fan of the top lane, just because it means, yeah, even if you do get hard camped or you're in a really bad matchup, you're still relevant in the fight. Now, if, for example, it was the Cassiopeia started to fall behind, she can struggle to have that level of impact. So our eyes are going to be on Framer's Misfortune. As Clint, I think he knows something's happened in the bot lane. He's just running away as quickly as possible.
Yeah, when it's really one of those things that if the Cassio falls behind, she has a lot harder time getting to a point where she can do anything. Whereas, you know, Clint on the Ornn is able to just exist and be able to do things. So, like you said, a budget tank is a very safe pick for them and is able to provide a lot. So I really think that's going to be interesting. And luckily for them, the Cassio is ahead, has those 2 items, and is in a very scary spot.
Indeed, we're still got scary spots here. We're seeing Sydney. They're trying to get some vision down in the Queensland's jungle right now. They're not having fantastic luck. That control ward doing a good job of actually holding the territory. Because this means that if they Sydney ever wants to try and invade, they're going to get spotted out, and we're not going to have a repeat of Scott trying to walk through his jungle and then realizing, wait, there is a angry Malzahar and Zac here, and oh god, where's my health gone?
Yeah, and USYD playing really smart here, opting for a 1-3-1. You know, forcing that, hey, if you want to stop us mid, you got to bring people, and we have a top and bot pushing. If you want to stop bot, we have top side pushing. You know, they're really stretching UQ thin because they know that in a small fights, they will win, no matter what. You know, if they have the 1-on-1s, the 2-on-1s, the 2-on-2s, most of the time you should use Sid.
Oh, I think a catch out here as Ubisoft is in so much trouble. The tank is able to get out in one piece. The Solar Flare is not going to fully connect, but Thomas goes down anyway as that Arcane Shift isn't going to save him. Flint has arrived. There is no call of the Forge God, but I don't think it matters as Sydney is being hunted down 1-by-1. They may be able to get the jungler, but they will lose their mid laner as a result. No, Zoo gets in over the wall actually as Zerody's trying to do something. Farmer is doing something bullet time on the other side, but Ubisoft interrupts. The Dragon now getting involved in the fight as well. This is so scrappy coming in from both teams. Revenge trying to get Anna in one piece as Amarai is trying to fight in a 1 versus 2 against Forward and Ubisoft. The Cat will be able to come out victorious thanks to the assistance of his jungler. And that is going to be everyone bar Clint falling from the side of the University of Queensland.
You know, what started as an incredibly good fight for UQ, you know, picking off the Ezreal, turned into a 1-for-4 victory for USYD and a Dragon. So they get the pick off here. Watch the damage that Zoe is providing, and watch the love tap over the wall following. Bang. Taking down Shen, unfortunately. But the one kill that they got, you know, that was really good. They go for more, and they end up just getting absolutely deleted by USYD and going in for the 1-for-4 for USYD into the Ocean Drake. And that's not what you want on a, you know, on a Malzahar and a Cassiopeia. You do not want an Ocean Drake regenning them, so it's rough right now.
Yeah, it's rough. And this last one, I thought they were so close to getting forward Yuumi in that last fight there. But the thing is, that fight is so spread out, and as you said, they decided to overchase. Instead of simply catching out the kill onto Thomas's Ezreal, and then backing away and saying, okay, let's reset, let's set up for Dragon, it's, oh god, we see Zoop behind us. Go, 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 go. Nobody has a quick silver sash. Hell, one person had magic resistance before the start of that fight, and that's your top laner. Malzahar ain't ult in the top laner.
Yeah, this game is pretty much a reminder to pay your taxes, because right now they are, and they are losing for it.
Yeah, talk about not paying your taxes. Scott, no, you're not getting out of here, buddy.
No, you forgot to pay your taxes, and the big brothers come to get you. So, yeah. Zoot is incredibly strong right now with a 5-0, and there is very little they could do to challenge him right now. I say
Wait a second, Clint's trying to do something. He's going to call the Forge God as well, but Framer and Revenge are in the backline too. But the jungler has arrived. He's not able to save his mid laner, but can he at least get Revenge? He will get one flashing out to safety, but Revenge flashes after him. The bullet time is not available, but not needed, sorry, as they will burst him down. And the
Jesus.
That's how you stand up authority.
Yeah, that's how you show that to someone that you mean business. And Forward should have been out of here 40 years ago. Like, that was a dangerous spot to be. You know, Farmer just really, you know, putting the icing on the cake, showing. Oh, that was nearly very close.
Leafy Trouble Bubble coming out there, as in the replay, there is still a final chapter coming out there, but Ubisoft, he gets so close to getting out, but unfortunately, Misfortune does have a speed start, and then that. It's the most efficient way to do it, but it also feels like the biggest flex humanly possible.
It was incredibly unnecessary. You know, love tap each of them, and then double shot into 2 autos, and you've got a kill. But MF, you know, really showing off the 7 kills there. Like, hey, I could do this, or I could just delete you with AOE. So, you know, really putting a statement down. I think that's what UQ's trying to do here. They're trying to make a statement, and currently their statement is our ADC is the only thing going for us.
Yeah, and what I find interesting from Framer is look at his build. He's gone for a early Hex Drinker as his magic resistance, as opposed to the likes of the Quicksilver Sash that is the common go-to. Now, how do you feel about this one, Warp? Because it's not standard, but I'm interested.
You know, I think that it's important to remember that, yeah, you could, like, the tax that you have to pay for the Malzahar is important, but I think that Farmer knows that the chances are it's not going to be him that's going to have to pay it, like, early, and is opting for the Hex Drinker to try and take some of the damage down from Yuumi, you know, Ezreal, even Malzahar's stuff, Cassiopeia, just trying to reduce some of that damage, because they have, like, 4 magic damage dealers. We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that one, Clint. We're going to give you a pass, okay, man? One does not simply miss. Camera zoom in. Okay, so one does not simply miss a point-blank call of the Forge God like that. But hey, you know, the game's been going one way, so I guess we can see why. Really showing off why they're in this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, Clint's had a rough game. Let's not forget that Clint has had a particularly rough game here, as we see a seed on the bottom. I mean, he's been laning into a Cassiopeia, and he got ganked early. Like, that's not exactly a fun situation to find yourself in. But we may see a situation in the bottom lane here, as 4 members of UQ have rocked up. And yeah, it's going to force Sydney back, at least for now. 4-on-4, and Zoot might be making his way down too.
Yeah, Zoot was hovering in the mid lane, potentially trying to go for that, but now he's behind. So this can be really dangerous, especially for not Scott here.
Oh, they're back away for... Now, I got really worried because the Malzahar ultimate is available. But instead, they said, nah, it's fine, we'll just grab ourselves a dragon. And that goes to dragon number 3, because I don't see how UQ are meant to be able to take this one away.
No, I don't see them getting this one off them, and this is really dangerous right now. They're, they've got an Infernal Drake and 2 Ocean Drakes. They are in a very good spot right now for their team comp, and right now their mages are just giggling with the overflow of mana that they have. So they're in a really scary spot.
Indeed, they are, as UQ trying to do some sort of setup around Baron, but they may be pincered here. They're trying to go for the like of Zoot, but Zoot is able to get out in one piece, and they've got to be a little more careful because they do have Ubisoft in the middle lane and Zeronius pushing it in bottom. So UQ, they're being pulled a little bit of everywhere, which I love because their macro is struggling to keep up with the pressure that's being applied to them.
Yeah, so this is what it's really coming down to, is it's attempting macro when you're being like forced incredibly hard by USYD. And that's the problem they're having, is that they're not able to manage the 1-3-1s, the 1-4s. They're just not being able to do it effectively enough to be able to challenge them. They're still strong. That's not to take away from the strength of UQ, but the problem is their strength is one person. Zoe, yes, is dealing some very good damage because Zoe is Zoe, but the only one with kills on their team is the MF, and finally the Misfortune has paid that Quicksilver Sash tax.
There we go. Yeah, that's what I think you need to make. Even, I do love the Hex Drinker purely as a, if I do get slammed with magic damage, which there is a lot of coming out of the side of USYD. Like, Cassio, you've got Zac, you've got Malzahar, you've got Yuumi. Like, hell, even Ezreal does magic damage in spots. So the fact is, like, okay, I've got magic resistance, I've now paid my QSS tax, I've got my Infinity Edge, I've got my Essence Reaver, I've got my boots ready to go. Farmer's in a fantastic position to carry this game, but my concern is that to do a lot of his damage, Farmer has to stand still. Bullet time. Actually, come in a second. As seeing Revenge trying to force something. Call the Fortune coming as well. The final chapter is trying to buy a little bit of space. The Ezreal has been locked down, but the reinforcements are coming in from the backlane. Amalite is low. Revenge actually falls, and Bullet Time simply does not have the damage output. And they've been fighting with the Cassio. Zeronius gets out of Petrifying Gaze. That is 2 members down. Farmer is trying to run for his life, and he might get alive, but his top laner will not. As tanky as that Ornn is, he is going to go down. Farmer, the only man surviving, as Sydney sets his eyes on Baron.
And that's what we were talking about. If that Cassio can get into the fight, land a Petrifying Gauge, or just start doing anything, the damage potential with that, Haunting Guise is ridiculous. Watch here, watch the damage come out. Just absolutely disgusting damage deleting their team. And like you said, it's all well and good to play on and be tanky, but when you've got that many people on you, you are dying no matter what.
Yeah, and that is now put... If UQ was struggling before, because as we talked about before, they were being pressured into macro decisions, they were really struggling to look for, okay, let's deal with this, let's deal with that, they were having 100 problems in front of them. They now have to deal with the fact that there is no one on their team who can side lane against Zeronius' Cassiopeia. Who are you meant to send against a 404 Cassiopeia who, mind you, has a Spectre's Cowl for defense? Like, what do you do against this man?
Yeah, effectively you have to decide not who's going to go beat Cassio on the sideline, it's who's going to be the sacrificial lamb, just to try and stall out as long as possible to hopefully do something else somewhere on the map. But even then, you've got Zoot, who's incredibly strong right now, who's like, okay, you're trying to, sacrifice people to Cassiopeia, I'll just kill everyone else in the bot lane. Or, they're going to go for another fight because at this point, USYD can just force whatever they want.
Yeah, and they tried to catch out the Zac here, but the turnaround might be there as Zoot is trading around with Amaranth on the side. Scott is chunked down. Final chapter coming up. The Solar Flare does land on a couple there as Call the Forge does survive them. Bullet Time as well. Actually doing a ton of damage there as Thomas not able to get the final connection here. The stun coming down, but Zeronius not taking enough damage, and Zoot is the only victim of the team fight.
Yeah, Zoot unfortunately getting caught out there on the side. just getting caught out. I think it was by the Zoe.
Yeah, he just Emerald's like, hey, get out of here, buddy.
Yeah, you got to respect. That's the thing, you know. Doesn't matter that Zoe's 0-3. You've got to respect that Zoe can still provide one utility with the Sleepy Trouble Bubble, but also just the damage that Paddle Star can do based on its natural, like how it functions. So it doesn't matter if you're slightly behind. If you get a long-range Paddle Star, you are going to delete someone. That is just how it works. And that is the joy and the beauty of Zoe, is that it doesn't matter how far behind you are, you can still delete someone incredibly quickly. As I believe this is Ocean Soul getting picked up.
This is going to be Ocean Soul donated over to the side of the USYD, partly because, look at the cooldowns. UQ has, well, nothing really. They have a Solar Flare that's just come up. They've just gotten Call of the Forge God as well. And Farmer didn't have his ultimate at that time, while USYD had at least 3 ultimates ready to go, so they had no issues in case there was going to be a fight there. So, like, you had to donate it over, but it's not what you wanted to do.
Yeah, and that's another thing that we need to take note of, which is part of the reason why USYD is being so effective, is that the cooldowns on UQ are incredibly long in comparison. So the Call of the Forge got the, you know, the Echo ulti, the, oh no, you know, Zakinator, I don't know what to say, man, but don't do that. You know, you can't be doing that.
Zakinator doesn't actually have a second item right now.
No, Zakinator is sitting on a, you know, a Runic Echoes, and that's about it, which is about as tragic a jungler. There we go. That's about as tragic as you're gonna get for a jungler. Where in comparison, you have a 3-item and boots, Zach. So there is nothing you can do against that. He's not paid the tax. He can't afford to pay the tax because he doesn't have any items.
Yeah, he can't afford to do it. And can we just shout out to what was, in my opinion, the most unnecessary replay I've ever seen in my life. I love it. But that was like zoom in on that one.
You know, there's like salting the wound.
Yeah.
I think production decided to salt the wound. And then, like, you know, pull a salt bay and just sprinkle some salt on top, just to, you know, really rub it in. And
Clint knows.
Clint knows what's happening.
Clint knows he missed that ultimate so hard.
Yeah, I think Clint I think he's trying to make the world record for most zoning ultimates not hit in a single game, because I think he's up to about 6. So,
yeah, I think he's a double digit soon. He's had a lot of ultimates that just have not had success here.
No disrespect, zoning ultimates are incredibly useful, but oh no.
Oh, this is going to be disastrous. Oh my god, because there is no quick silver smash to flash over the ball to keep Chen alive. Their healing is actually ridiculous. And now the full options do on the flank. They've been flanked, and they are going to get destroyed. Bullet time is hitting multiple key members, and they will pop open the Zac there. But unfortunately, it doesn't matter. We've called it before. You may lose your front line, but if everyone dies to kill the front line, you've lost the team fight.
And you've got to remember, even between these fights, they've got 3 Ocean Drakes and Ocean Soul. They are regenning a absurd amount between fights.
It's like fighting a Mundo. He's healing more than you're actually doing damage to the boy.
Yeah, he's had, like, their team right now, we saw what happened. Like, that was about as good a start as they could have gotten for UQ. They landed the Sleepy Trouble Bubble onto Ezreal. They got the ulti down. They got the stuns. They got the full range Paddle Star, and it still wasn't enough.
And they're going for Farmer under his own turret. Usopp does a bit aggressive there, as we do see Zoot basically soloing out Scott with that ultimate there. The Nevergrass having no chill. The turret on the top end falling as well. Amalite trying to hold on to the line.
Zoning ulti.
Can he land it? Yes, he can! He gets the ultimate with the Call of the Forge God. Not that it matters, because his entire team is dead.
You know, I'm kind of disappointed he didn't just miss it for the meme, if I'm going to be honest.
I'm kind of expecting him to
like,
miss it
he's been playing the Ornn, the zoning ult Ornn for the entire